to better direct it towards something. But perhaps people think too much of a socialized society.
Exactly. They fear socialization of society. But hopefully with the appointment of Dr. Ben Carson as HUD Director of Housing and Urban Development, hopefully that will bring some changes in terms of addressing the kinds of issues that Dr. King felt were very, very important, that President Johnson felt were important, in terms of educating slum dwellers, in terms of providing health care for the poor, and in terms of providing jobs and economic opportunities for the poor. We don't know where that's going. But I think, you know, with the appointment of Ben Carson, hopefully
who knows?
We'll move closer to the realization of Dr. King's dream.
Who knows? You know, you never can tell.
Exactly.
Because life works in strange and difficult situations.
Exactly.
You never can tell.
Exactly.
But God knows.
Yeah, but
and I think as a minister, you understand how very, very important it is to understand that God knows and that somebody's going to come out of this thing and somebody's going to help not only Africans, but all people who find themselves in need and who find themselves with their backs up against the wall.
Yeah, but we need to realize that Dr. King's dream as far as the fight against poverty and economic injustice has not yet been realized. And that it's up to us to bring about the realization of that dream.
And we ought to talk about it more.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that the more...
At all levels of society.
At all levels
in the churches, in government, in our community centers, everywhere you look, educational institutions, we need to discuss these issues and come to some sense of what is our responsibility, our moral responsibility in terms of moving toward the realization of Dr. King's dream.
What is good for me is good for you.
Yes,
and I think that if we take that attitude, I think we might be able to move.
Yes, and I cannot be what I ought to be, Dr. King said, until you are who you ought to be.
That's right. That's right. And I think that you've laid a good foundation and a good understanding. And if people not only pay attention to what you're saying, but to read the multitude of books that you've already written in reference to the same subject. And let me thank you, Dr. Baldwin.